Moody and gloomy out there, but that's okay. It's kind of getting me in the mood for this video, which I don't tend to go negative on this channel at all. In fact, this channel is all about breaking stigmas and stereotypes that have been kind of around the field of social work for quite some time. But today I am going to share some of the difficulties about being a social worker. And after this pandemic year, this weird blip we were in, there's kind of a lot. So I'm gonna open the floodgates. You ready? Let's go. There will be a silver lining in this video though. You already know me. But real talk, I do want to share some of the difficulties about being a social worker. And I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm hoping it's not too overwhelming. If you're watching this as a social worker, then I'm sure there's going to be lots of things that we relate upon. And I encourage you to vent in the comments down below, because I am all about just giving you space to let everything out. And if you really want a community to be able to do that, I have my Instagram page, Social Work Scrapbook, over there. It's just a wonderful community where we just kind of, a lot of dark humor, a lot of venting, a lot of insight, but inspiration as well. So join us over there. Okay, so I want to share, let me see if I can get to 3 difficulties, because for those that are really wanting to know if this profession is for them, I know that this video is kind of something I know I would watch. I hope I don't open the floodgates like entirely where I'm like listing, okay, number 15. Anyway, social work is a very lonely profession, especially this year. Now, I am an introvert, so this is not something that is like too much for me. I enjoy a job where I have that flexibility to do what I want to do. Flexibility is great, but to not have anyone to really look to as an inspiration is very hard. Big reason why I started this channel, because I didn't want anyone out there to feel like you were absolutely alone, because you're not. We're out there, but we're kind of like head down focused on what we need to do, and the job is just built that way. It's like problem after problem after problem after problem. It's kind of hard to come up for air. And if you do and you start interacting and socializing with others, it kind of feels a little bit like you feel a little guilty. So again, let me stick with number 1, and then I feel like number 2 and 3 are starting to solidify. Number 1 is the fact that you will be alone in this field for the most part. I work in the school setting, so there's only 1 social worker per campus if you're lucky. Sometimes there's 1 social worker per district. So you really need to find a support system. You need to find your community of social workers, because no one quite understands like another social worker. Now, there's like strategic places to find social workers or social workers at heart, and those can be in some of your colleagues, but don't expect other mental health professionals to really get what you're saying or to get that holistic in-person environment view that we were taught, because other mental health professionals really aren't taught and like drilled. It's not drilled in their head to look at a client's strengths even. They're kind of more looking at the problem, very problem focused, and social workers, that I know it, for me, it just bogs us down. Number 2 is, I'm gonna have to go back. I said it already and I wanted to expand on it now. That's what it is. The problems. How did I forget? How did I forget about the problems? And this is where you hear about the jaded social worker. Our view gets very skewed of the world. We see so many problems and like the worst of the worst in people. And we get the worst cases referred to us pretty much when like it has gone way too far and someone doesn't know what to do. The bleep has hit the fan is when we get our referrals. And so this kind of causes you to kind of see humanity very differently. The best way to combat this is with a support system or with just dark humor. Honestly, the best social workers I know have the best sense of humor, and you just have to learn to laugh at it all. But honestly, the problems can skew your vision of the world. So if you are like completely rose-colored glasses, those are going to be ripped right off. And I know you may be wondering, but Lauren, you're so positive. Like, I don't see you like that at all. And the reason I'm not jaded is because I can laugh things off. I know that people are resilient as a whole, and I constantly have to work on myself, work through everything that I'm seeing and counteract it with self-care, of course, but also balancing out that vision. So if I am working with a case that is very heavy and severe with child abuse or child maltreatment, I do need to now spend some time out on a playground and watching well-adjusted children with their moms, helicopter moms. I have to continue to make sure that I have a good balance of the world, because if I just focus on this and nothing else, I can really burn out, get jaded, and that starts impacting how I work with clients. Our clients are strong. They have a strength in them, and we have to believe in that in order to believe in the change that's possible. Another quick tip that I can do a whole video on how to combat those negative, jaded views. So if you have any of those, please list them down below as well, so that we can begin to confront those with good affirmations and good mindsets in order to be able to work with them. Because if we start seeing our clients as a problem and only a problem, then we become part of that problem, because we can no longer see the strengths and we can no longer be that little light of hope that they need in order to bring about change, because it takes work. It's a lot of work. Number 3, I think some of you might think it's the hours or like the work demand or the lack of work-life balance, but I can't speak to that because I'm a school social worker. So it's a nice setup, I have to say. I get all student holidays off, those winter breaks, spring breaks, summer break is coming up for me. So it's just really nice to have those breaks built in, and they come, I want to say, like at the perfect time when I'm feeling them. It's kind of like built-in self-care, because you get to disconnect. But for those of y'all that aren't in this kind of school system, you really have to get good about setting those boundaries, taking those days on your own, which I do have to say, when I didn't work in the school system, that was hard for me to do. My clients were always there. I put them first. I had a young family at the time, so I had a 1-year-old. It was really hard to balance both being a mom and being a wife and being good or feeling like I was doing good at a job. So you have to get really good at balancing that and setting boundaries, because if you don't, you can also burn out. I am going to share in a video pretty soon, because it's been highly requested, on signs of burnout. I've shared kind of vaguely on social media and then here on some of my videos that I had some jobs that were not really good for my mental state, and I decided to jump ship, and how that was scary, but how it was needed. So if you're in that position as well and you're looking for something like that, just stay tuned. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you get alerted to when new videos are coming out. I'm going to share one of the harder parts of being a school social worker. Since I said the work-life balance kind of is a non-factor for us, one of the hard things about being specifically a school social worker is the fact that there is no blueprint for what we're doing. In a lot of agencies where social workers typically work, there is documentation process set up. Yeah, I know that it can be kind of rigorous for some, but like in the school social work systems, you create the documentation, you have that flexibility. And if you're a person that really likes to have a blueprint or some structure, there really isn't any. And I am that type of person that likes a good structure, likes a good checklist, but school social work broke me out of that really early on. It's nice because I get to use my creativity, but sometimes it can burn me out because I'm just like, I don't know what else to do, which is why I have to create these communities where I can learn from others and lean off of others and incorporate some of their great ideas into what I do. And I share my ideas to help y'all out as well. I do have a Teachers Pay Teachers that I haven't added to in quite a while, but I'm planning to do that this summer when I get some time off, adding some more interventions and documentation tips on there for school social workers. But that's really a big difficulty, is you're kind of writing the book on it all. That's just the nature of the game, because there's no school that's exactly alike. Although they seem pretty similar and it seems like it should be standardized, Standardized doesn't work for school social work because we really have to go into the campus that we're on and we have to assess it. Every year it changes because your students are changing, your administration is changing, the community is changing little by little. So every year it's like a whole reworking. And I've gotten used to kind of that, taking on that change as a new creative outlet for me. But if you don't like that kind of change, that consistent change, then that can be a major difficulty if you're wanting to go into school social work or if you are school social workers. I'm gonna leave you there with the difficulties. I think I kind of shared a kind of good well-roundedness in this video. And if we want 3 pros, you know I got you on those. But let me know what other videos, or if you want more of these real talks, let me know in the comments below, and I'm happy to do it. Until next time, I'm wishing you social work success. Bye guys.